Thanks for all of you being here. We do this on an annual basis, as most of you know, and Illy was telling me before we came down that in trying to analyze the effectiveness that our efforts and the cooperation of the media, that I really want to acknowledge and thank, because it really has been easy to get print and electronic media to help us get this message out. And she was pointing to the fact that in the 2010 numbers showed people have claimed during the past year $330,000 of refund money, and that's 4-year-old money. So obviously they went back and got that money after learning of its availability through probably the media efforts. And that makes us feel good, because it's discouraging to look at the annual reversion to the general fund that runs around $40 million a year, that property owners statewide are entitled to and are not accessing. I think for the overwhelming majority of that money, it's because they're not aware of its availability and just how easy it is to access. And so with the help of the Department of Revenue, the media, and our staff here at the Department of Insurance, we continue to try to get that message out. That's still, year in and year out, 52%, 53%, it varies by less than 1% from year to year, of the money that is assessed on all property owners that's actually reverting to the general fund. So less than half is being retrieved by those who are entitled to it. And as I point out each year, it's a very simple process. I do it at election time. Get Mardi Gras behind us, and when Mardi Gras is in the rearview mirror, we know that the tax man is looming. And so folks start doing their taxes, and we use that awareness to remind people that they can take on their state income tax return, as I do each year, a dollar-for-dollar credit, not a deduction, a dollar-for-dollar credit against your state tax liability for whatever amount you were assessed for the assessment that Citizens has to apply to every property insurance policy statewide. It's not just homeowners, it's renters, it's mobile homes, it's commercial property. And each year, right under 4% is added to each one of those policies in order to amortize the $1.2 billion of bonds that Citizens had to issue to pay their losses from Hurricane Katrina. That has been going on for 10 years. It will continue for another 10 years. And it is a very simple process. Doing it as a tax credit, you just check off the box and put the amount of your assessment in the appropriate line, and attach a copy of your deck sheet from your property insurance policy and send it in with your tax return. If you don't owe any state income tax, as my widowed mother does not, you can use a simple form, 4 questions, name, address, policy number, and the amount of your assessment. Attach a copy of your deck page showing that and send it in. If you're going back 4 years, as you are able to do if you haven't done it all in the past 4 years, then you can use one form for each year, even if you have multiple properties to claim a credit or a refund for. You list those properties on that one form for each year, attach the deck sheet for each of those properties, and submit it. It's a very simple and easy process. The forms can be accessed through our website, www.ldi.la.gov, or call us if you need help, either getting forms or getting a copy of your deck page because you can't reach your agent or you don't know who your agent was. We can assist in that effort. We do it on a daily basis. Our 800 number is 259-5300. That's 1-800-259-5300. At this time, I'd like to introduce once again our friend from the Department of Revenue, Mr. Kent LaPlace, who will go into more detail than I just did on how to access the information necessary, provide the information necessary, access the forms needed to do so from the Department of Revenue. Mr. LaPlace.
Thank you, Commissioner. As the Commissioner said, you can claim your citizen's rebate by filing it on your tax return. Matter of fact, that would be the preferred method, is to put it on your income tax return when you file it. The individual returns, the normal due date is May 15th. Businesses, their due date is April 15th. If an individual forgets or does not have to file a state income tax return, they can also go to our website and go to www.revenue.louisiana.gov/file online to access our online filing application and file for the rebate. Now, this method right now is currently only available for individual filers. Business filers would have to use the paper forms. Once here, select the Continue link. On the next page, you can claim your citizen's rebate insurance. You will select, enter your username, Social Security number, and password. If you have not filed with us, either electronically, but you have filed with us before, or you have a valid Louisiana driver's license or valid ID number, you can still utilize this method. You will have to create your own account, and by that you'll have to select the appropriate links and select a password, a username, password, confirm the password, enter email address, confirm it, enter your Social Security question, provide the answer, and then you can set up your account. If you utilize this method of filing electronically, you have the option of receiving this refund in one of three ways: direct deposit, which goes straight to your bank account. You can request a check, or you can request a My Refund card. Direct deposit is the preferred option because I can't tell you how many times people have called us saying they just moved after they filed a return, or the check or card got lost in the mail. Filing the rebate on the website is really easy. Also, filing it electronically will speed the refund up. Currently, electronic returns, the refunds are processed in approximately 20 to 21 days. If you file paper, it could be anywhere from 12 to 16 weeks. So electronic is the best option. If you decide not to utilize the electronic option, you can get a copy of the form from our website, which is www.revenue.louisiana.gov, or you can access the Insurance Department's website as well. Fill in the form and send it to us. Again, the number for the form is a 540 INS. Business users will utilize the 620 INS if they did not claim the refund on their corporate income tax returns. You can also claim this refund by filing an amended return as well. One of the things we want to caution people to do, filers to do, and they have gotten very good about this over the past years, is when the program first started and people were first starting claiming refunds, some would inadvertently try to claim the entire insurance premium. It is only the rebate portion, and those errors have been reduced dramatically over the years. So please make sure you only claim the citizen's assessment. Do not file both the INS and then also try to take the refund claim again on your state income tax return. That will slow up your subsequent refund for review. If you have more than one property, we would like you to file on one form and attach a supplement page, which is R-INS supplement form, and list all the properties there. If you file multiple forms for multiple properties, this will delay any refund claim you have. Remember to include a copy of the insurance declaration page with your return when you file the paper forms. If you need additional information, we have a revenue information bulletin of 12-030 on our website, which you can access and obtain additional information. Now, I will turn this back over to the Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you, Kent. I appreciate your year in and year out and the assistance of your department in making this as user-friendly as possible, and it truly is very, very user-friendly. In addition, we will be doing what's referred to by us as community outreach. We'll be sending our consumer advocacy folks, Deputy Commissioner Ron Henderson. Ron, if you would mind standing up. And he is our Deputy Commissioner for Consumer Advocacy. He and his team will be crossing the state, setting up booths at home shows, etc., in Shreveport, Monroe, here in Baton Rouge, Houma, Westwego, Kenner, Lafayette, in the coming weeks. Actually, in the next two, this month and next month, prior to the beginning of the April 15th deadline for filing your federal income tax. 1 month later is the May 15th deadline for filing state income tax returns. I also want to acknowledge and thank 2 citizens who offered to come to the press conference here today and acknowledge their benefit from this program. The first is the executive director of Cat Haven, a facility that I'm familiar with here in the Baton Rouge area.
It wasn't a complicated process at all. I learned about the rebate from Laura Nola here at the Department of Insurance and just looked at the materials that she sent me and went online. I did take the paper form just because it seemed easier to me. So just filled out the form and submitted the deck pages. I did have to go back to my insurance agent and ask for that, but they were readily available, and have not received the rebate yet, but do expect to receive over $537.
Was this a complicated process or is it an easy process?
Very easy, because like I said, Laura just sent me a one-page little blurb about it with all of the links to go to the website. That kind of filled out, you know, it just tells you totally what to do. It's an uncomplicated form, one attachment to the form. Attachment is easy to get, form is easy to get. Very easy process.
I plan to apply for the Citizens Rebate. I haven't claimed in the past 4 years, so I'll be getting back about a little over $500 from it, so pretty good amount to get back.
Did you find this an easy process or a complicated process?
It looks like an easy process to do that. I was able to look at my tax returns, and I had the papers, the declarations for each year, so I think that's a big part of it right there, is getting all the paperwork.
Would you recommend this to somebody else?
Oh, goodness. That's why I'm here. You know, I fell through the cracks, so I want to let everyone else know that they could be falling through the cracks and not getting a nice bit of money back over the past couple of years.
When Mardi Gras season ends, the tax man looms, and I use the opportunity, although these refunds and rebates are available year-round, the easy way to get the money that you're entitled to under the law is as a dollar-for-dollar tax credit against your state tax liability. I do that each year with a simple check off on my state tax return, attaching a copy of my deck page as required by the refund statute, and sending it in with my state tax return and taking as a dollar-for-dollar credit against my tax liability the amount of that assessment that Citizens Property Insurance Corporation, the state-sponsored market of last resort, attaches to every property insurance policy statewide. Not only homeowners, but renters, mobile homes, commercial properties, skyscrapers, as well as corner grocery stores. Every property gets assessed 3.5% each year to finish paying off the bonds that citizens had to issue to pay their Katrina liability, $1.2 billion bond issue. It's been done for 10 years. There's 10 more years yet to go. And you can go back 4 years so that money is still available for the assessments for 2011, 12, 13, and 14. But anything over 4 years old has now prescribed. So the assessments from 2006 through 10, which totaled over $306 million, has now lost its eligibility for refund and has reverted to the general fund and now cannot be claimed by the property owners who were assessed that amount of money. It's unfortunate, but 53% of that money, year in and year out, goes unclaimed, and then after 4 years reverts to the general fund of the state. We hope that with the help of the media like you, we'll be able to make more folks more aware of this availability and convince them that it's worth the slight amount of trouble it takes to either do it with your tax return or access a simple one-page form with 4 questions: name, address, policy number, and the amount of your assessment. Attach your Dept page, mail it in, or electronically send it in to the Department of Revenue and get a check back in the mail. If you have multiple properties, you can use one form for each year, 2011, 12, 13, and 14, but you can put all the properties on that one form, but you do need the Dept page for each individual property so that you can itemize and demonstrate how much you were assessed for all the properties you own anywhere in the state.
Who is eligible for these tax rebates, and how complicated of a process is it?
It's real simple, and every property owner in the state who has insurance on their property, renters all the way up to the owners of skyscrapers in downtown areas, are being assessed and are eligible for this tax credit or refund, whichever is easier for them. It's really not a complicated process, and it's a lot of money that's available to property owners statewide. With taxes in mind, let me move to another subject relative to tax time, and that is for the first time, penalty for failure to have health insurance in place as required by the Affordable Care Act. If you did not have health insurance during 2014, you are subject to a penalty on this year's tax return to be filed on April 15th of this year for last year. That penalty is the higher of 1% of your household income, or $95 per person, but $47.50 per child under age 18, with a cap on a household of $285. Now, if your penalty is the higher based on 1% of your yearly income, that cap is $2,400 for an individual and $12,000 for a family of 5. So you can see there are some significant penalties looming for those who did not have health insurance in place during 2014. And because of that, there is an effort, because of that new awareness of these substantial penalties, there's an effort on the federal level to reopen the enrollment period that closed just this past weekend, so that folks can, when they find out what the penalty they're facing is, can access coverage at least for this year to avoid a similar penalty when they file their tax returns a year from now. So let me add that to the equation as well. It's not like we don't have complexity enough in our lives, but we add citizens and rebates and assessments and penalties and all the rest to the mix. But with that said, I'd be happy to answer any questions any of you from the media or any of our guests might have for us here this morning. For the first time this year on tax returns, folks will be asked if they had health insurance in place. If they check yes, they're okay. If they did not have health insurance in place last year, as required by the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, then they are subject to a penalty of the higher of 1% of their household income or $95, with an exception for under 18-year-olds being $47.50, and for a family that is paying the $95 per or $47.50 for under 18-year-olds, a family cap of $285. But for those who are paying the higher, based upon 1% of their income, the cap is $2,400 for an individual and $12,000 for a family of 5. So a significant penalty that is for the first time being imposed on citizens nationwide who did not have health insurance in place during the year 2014.
If people have questions like more information, what should they do?
Please contact us, 1-800-259-5300, or go to our website for help, very simple help, on accessing the refund or the tax credit from the citizen assessment. And that's www.ldi.la.gov. ldi.la.gov, 800-259-5300.